Good evening, Guardians. It is Ebontis here, and we're going to do a little bit of recap for Destiny 1 over the next few days before Destiny 2 comes out. Live action trailer did drop. It's freaking awesome. Honestly, Kate always getting some good lines in there. Hats off to Nathan Fillion every time. But before we get rid of Destiny 1, got to do a little recap of some top 5, some favorites, and things like that. So, with that stuff in mind, let's get rolling here on my first one. It's going to be the top story missions for most of the campaigns. I'm going to break them up into different videos, and we are going to start with good old vanilla. Now, Destiny Vanilla had about 20 story missions or so, so I'm going to break them apart one per planet. So I'm going to do, roughly top 4, top 5, something like that. But the difference is I'll probably have 4 and then 1 extra, and you guys will see why when I get to the end. But we're going to start out with the first mission. Going to head over to Earth. Now, Earth had a couple different ones. We obviously had, of course, waking up, all the good stuff there. But one of the ones I really enjoyed from the original campaign was honestly the last array. Just the amount of enemies you fight, the change in basically the skybox in the background, the little war you fight, facing both Hive and Fallen. Kind of a cool way to kick off Earth and really notice that things are getting out of control. So let's jump in. I'll cut to the good parts. I'll show you guys at the end. And this is the last array, my top mission for Earth from Vanilla Destiny. Alright, Guardians, so as we get into the terrestrial complex, this is the second half of the mission, and this is where things kind of get good. So, going to give you a little bit of playing here just on this one, just for the fun of it. Going to have some fun as we go through towards the end of this mission, and just kind of explain the pieces that I really enjoy about this one. See if my hunger can still hold up. So far, doing alright. Get off my butt. And just as we keep creeping forward, as soon as you get outside, things really tend to escalate, so I'm going to work my way there somewhat quickly. Apparently I can just punch it all. Now from here you're going to have the Fallen outside. All these enemies are going to be dropping down. So one of the nice things you can do is just start chunking those grenades. You're going to have plenty of Dregs and Vandals over here. Also looking for the Captain in the back. Grab a little bit of ammo. And just for the fun of doing it, it's always fun to use the sword. I am a little bit what I would call OP for this mission, but I'm not going to argue with the ability to just tear everything apart, because it's fun. I'm apparently just going to throw the heavy ammo at me, so I'm not going to argue with that. Captain's still going down like a big weenie that he is. Try and clear everything out. Should be pretty good. Now from here, that object in the background is really the point where I liked. The first time I saw the world change pretty drastically, kind of signifying what you're actually doing in the game. So that structure right there is about to get very different. And there's also a nice little Easter egg at the end of this that kind of gives me another hat off to Bungie for the things that you put in later on that you don't realize till you go back and play them. So once you activate the terminal, he's got to do his thing. Like, okay, this is, mostly, a little bit of Hive out there. This thing's working, we're good. You just see the drastic change in it. This thing's huge. What comes out, this satellite array. And there's actually another one even farther out that you can hardly see, but is definitely over there as well. So it is just the two, but still. Changing both fore and background objects that you can definitely huge notice. I mean, that is a massive satellite array there. But unfortunately, you got some Hive ships coming in, and they want to ruin your fun. Worst part is, I really wish you could shoot those things. But just gotta dodge the big shots. Always finding the wizard, we all know they're a pain in the butt. At the level you are when you first fight the wizard, it's just like, oh crap. So, wizards always made things quite interesting. Just the way that thing is unfolding. You can see the actual fins on the satellite array. Still changing shape, pretty drastic change there. Gonna have some Hive coming in, so get those grenades working a little bit here for me. And then, of course, the big purple shots. They do that. I swear they do that so you literally can't stand in the doorway. You have to, back off. You can't just sit there and keep picking the guys off. Otherwise, you probably could just mow them down one by one. Now, granted, I don't have a hung jury when I come to mission 5 in the game, but I'm probably not going to be this effective, but still pretty cool. And as you go through these missions, you tend to remember how hard they were the first time you did them. The level of difficulty you were facing, the times I felt like I struggled in missions when, at this point, not really a factor. I'm definitely far overpowered, way too many weapons, all that good stuff. But it's just one of those things at the time, wasn't really one of those things. I mean, this guy can drop him, as long as I don't take too many of those shots, in like one sniper shot. That's like I took the major out already, and normally I'd be all worried trying to pick him off slowly. But if you look in the background, you've got this satellite array, this one here. Huge drastic changes. A little bit of a mini war there, a little bit of Hive, a little bit of Fallen. And just kind of a cool mission. Of course, the music's always setting the tone. A nice little bonus on this one as well is when you come over here to the end of the mission, you'll see the little blips on the screen. You got Mars on one, you got the moon on another, and you got Venus on another. Now, not realizing or hardly paying attention at the time, sometimes we go through things too quickly, those are the planets on the rest of the game. Just don't know it at the time. So that is the last array mission. Still a pretty cool one for you guys, but that's just the last fun part for you guys. We will move on to the moon next, so let's head right there. But yeah, before we go, as you can see, you got Mars, the moon, and Venus. A little preview of what's to come. So when we get to Destiny 2, keep in mind, little terminals, little pictures, things like that are usually always hints into the game as to what's coming. So let's head on to the moon here and get to our next mission. But last array, done. Alright guys, next we come to the moon. Now there are a couple missions I really had to decide between. One, because we all used it so many times, the Dark Beyond. There's no way we can't acknowledge this one. We used it too many times, we've awoken the Hive, we've all used that thing for quests, for guns, whatever it is. We know it's there, it's a good one. But honestly, one of the first times I really felt like a beast in this game, and just awesome, and it's also the first time we really ever got an experience with the Relic, is the Sword of Crota. Now, we probably played this mission a couple times when it was early in vanilla, but probably haven't gone back to it in a while. So, let's jump on in, restart this thing over, and we are going to jump into the Sword of Crota. One of my favorite missions on vanilla Destiny for the fact that you got to use a sword. And at that time, we had no idea about swords. They were pretty awesome. It was just kind of a small glimpse into the future. So, here we go. Alright Guardians, so the first part of this mission is where you kind of come up to this structure here. You'd probably seen it as you were doing a little running around. But as you go to face it this time,
I hope you're ready.
We face the Swarm Prince. We've got to face all the different princes that are going to spawn in. Taking out a good chunk of these guys. They come in and spawn. And again, a little OP on this one. So, depending on which doorway they come out, you've got that doorway and this one over here. Plenty of enemies to go. But again, you'll have the major one, Banuk, the first guy there. Let's go see if he died by my grenade or not.
I'll lead us to the others.
Yep, and he is down. So, Banuk, the first one, he's definitely around. So then we'll move on to the inside. We'll go ahead and cut ahead for you guys, and we can get to the fun part. The fun part as to why this mission's so awesome. So, see you guys on the inside. Alright Guardians, we all know this entrance to this area very well. Come through here many times. But this was the first time, as we went through it, that you really got to pick something up that was kind of a game changer. We'd gone through, we had our supers, we had our abilities, our grenades, all those things were there, there's no doubt. But then it changed when we got to pick up the Relic. It was our first experience with the Relic. The raid was definitely not out at this point. Many things were different at the time. First rolls are always still terrifying because they can explode and they still hurt. Trying to pick everything up. So you're in here, you're kind of wandering around, you picked off all the enemies. Apparently there's a wizard still here. And then you get to glimpse that little sword down there. You're like, oh, that might be cool. Thinking it's just something we're going to pick up to activate, something like that. So you go through here and finish everything up, and you walk over and it says, well,
grab the sword.
Pick up the sword. And you're like, alright, so this Hive great, you know, crazy sword.
Careful.
And now you're a beast.
Dark.
Yeah, its power is dark. It's also awesome. And so you're going to goof around. You got the swings. We all learned how to swing our sword for the first time. Sword travel, flying through the air. But then also, the big slam. I mean, just the sound effects they put on this sword alone were awesome. Just that slamming sound, like nothing compares. Just your traveling ability with this one. People would pick this thing up and try and go run around to the world with it. So many things done with the sword that first were not even capable. And now we just have them as part of the world, and we know they're coming in Destiny 2, so time to get used to using them. But the amount of ground you can travel, when you start to learn your combos, you're like 1, 2, big up sweep, uppercut. What's the most efficient swings? All the different things we learned with swords. Where's he at? Come on, is there a cooler way to travel by sword? I don't think so. Alright. You guys joining me on Twitch, thanks for tuning in for the recap of some of the story here. And the princes start coming in. So now you figured out is like, do I just slam him or do I go for the 1, 2, and the triple? It's 1 down, 2 to go. Draws on everybody. As they come in, here's number 2. And the one thing you also learn, swords have supers. Yeah, that's freaking awesome, by the way. It was also kind of one of those things, when I was doing it at first, I wasn't swinging correctly, so I wasn't the most efficient. So you gotta learn how to swing and hit these guys so you don't just take too much damage when you get close. It was come in, get a swing, and back off. And I'm overpowered right now, so I'm not gonna die nearly as fast. Make sure everything's dead and finish this guy off in style. I was like, is there a better way to travel around? Nope. I don't think so. And then the sword disappears and it's really, really sad. But that is the Sword of Crota mission. Honestly, still one of my favorites, just in how the sword sounds. For vanilla Destiny, truly a fun one. So, on to Venus, here we go. Alright, so next week move to Venus. Now, I'm torn between this one, but honestly, just for the intrigue, the fun, just kind of how I remember the mission going down. I'm really torn between both because they're very different missions, but I do think I've got to go with my second one. The runner-up is the Scourge of Winter. Did enjoy this one when 3 of Coins came out. There was a lot of farming done here. We know about that one. Draxus, the big Kel ship. It was really cool just to see. So, Scourge of Winter, the runner-up, but I got to go with honestly, the Archive. It was a very fun mission to do, just the Lost Archive when you went down underneath, like Dr. Shim when it's talking about all that stuff. Always very cool, so let's jump in. I will skip ahead towards the ending part with the waves and stuff that I always enjoyed, and we will knock this mission out. The Archive, mission number 3 for Venus. Here we go. Alright, Guardians, so we got 2 parts of the mission. One of these you could drive through, but as it's a pretty cool section on Venus, we're going to come up here into this huge library section. You're going, library, what the hell is going on here? So you've got like Cabal fighting Fallen, not Cabal, I'm sorry. You got the Vex fighting the Fallen, they're duking it out, then you realize if you piss one of them off, you're definitely still going to have to deal with both of them. And come up here to these different levels in the rooms and actually try and get some elevation up here. If I could jump, it'd be great. But again, as you come around, you notice, like, you've probably been here in another mission, but the Archive is a different piece that opens up. And things really, really start to change. You just see the scale of this area. And then this back door is open and things are going to change. So, leaving the library behind, we'll get to the next one. Okay, guys, I lied. There's 3 parts. This would be the second one. And this is the first time you're starting to see just kind of where things escalate. You got the Fallen here. I remember always coming up here to the top of the stairs, fighting from above. Trying to manage these couple Fallen up here and the few dregs that were up on the upper deck, while I tried to pick guys off from down below. Usually seemed to be the reasonable way to do it, but you had to also watch the guys from behind. So first you're going to have the guys down below here, and then you're going to start to have the servitors. So you got all these guys down here. See if I can manage my floating a little bit here. Yeah, all the drag would come up as you pick them off, and this would get even harder. But I'm a little bit OP right now, so what are you going to do? I remember he was actually one of the little bounties you had to go get at Simics 3. These little major guys, they're going really quick right now, but honestly, normally this took me quite a long time. It's very interesting, and I'll be kind of curious for that revelation when we go back to Destiny 2, basically starting over. So, and on to part 3, which is the fun part.
That's it. The Archive. Secrets of the Golden Age, untouched for centuries. Radio A encryption. They were serious about keeping.
If you guys haven't heard all about Houston and all the stuff that's going down there, if you want to donate in any way possible, many ways. If you guys haven't picked up the little Destiny Hearts, at least to get some donation and some relief for Hurricane Harvey. Very good thing to do. Bungie always doing its part, putting that stuff together. Always very cool. Alright, Guardians, we are down into the Hollow Whispers, and this is part 3. This is where the fun part comes in. So,
unbelievable. The Archive's power is still partially activated.
And it starts talking to you.
Welcome, Dr. Shim. Please enter your security clearance code.
Dr. Shim? Never mind that. Let's hit that terminal up ahead.
And literally
This
that right
place
there,
is
one of those
amazing.
questions when you're like, Dr.
It's bigger
Shim,
than the archives.
well,
and all
who the
that.
heck is Dr. Shim? So normally when you started this mission first time, you're like, okay, here's this terminal. Now I know what's coming, but of course before you're just like, okay, so what's going to happen at the terminal? La-di-da, scan the thing.
Shall I begin correlation of Vex Mind core samples?
So polite.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what they've got.
Dr. Shin, security breach detected. Intruders. Initiate Protocol 19.
And then you're going, okay, where, what? And then if you turn around at about the right time,
Fallen. They followed us
you'll
in.
see the enemies coming in. I can pick them off from here just because I know they're coming. But again, most of the enemies, you turn around and you'll be like, of course, the sniper, the shanks are coming in. This mission definitely was one of those that it escalated quickly as that more and more enemies came in. So if you knew where they were coming, they switched the spawn spots on you. And let's take a look. You gotta go with a couple stragglers. All the fallen down here. Quite a few of these guys. And you hear like power shut down.
Remote
Honestly,
hub failure. Routing
Destiny
disrupted.
sound design, so good. And Destiny
must have a
2,
server to feed
they
up
outdid
the power.
themselves. The sound in Destiny 2 is absolutely amazing. So good. So good. And then the invisible guys. Man, I couldn't tell you how many times those invisible sword guys messed me up. Ah, so much. Yep, invisible vandals, they hurt a lot. Quite a few shots to even take those guys out. I'm like, alright, terminal number 2, deploy my ghost over here. You're like, okay, now what's gonna happen?
Made a mess here, but I got this.
Fallen ruining all their stuff. Fallen so far in all the missions.
They're tapping in somewhere else.
So repair the backup conduit. So I've got more enemies coming in. Now again, if you sit here, you actually can see them up there, but you don't really know. But you get that glimmer and a glimpse of what's up here. And you see that most of them are invisible, in fact. But also the thing to forget, there's a dude who's going to come mess me up over here just to my side. Right here, he was always the one that ruined your day, so don't forget about that guy. My grenades took care of him, but I still remember the first time I was like, okay, I got these guys in front of me, I can manage them, maybe a stealth guy or two. Sword guy comes up and smacks you in the back, never cool. Final terminal, here we go. And last but not least.
I'll have it back together quick. They're still falling in here.
Okay, we got Fallen. Where are they coming from? Now, I know what I used to do, and I'll show you guys, because it's probably actually kind of funny and sad at the same time, but it was where I felt the safest. So you'd see the enemies coming in. You got the drag over here. You'd feel like, where can I fight from if these guys come in? Now I'm a little stronger than I used to be, so I'm probably not going to have quite the same thing. But what I used to do is come up here to this little circle platform and just run circles around it and pick the guys off slowly, because I was afraid. Like, I remember in this game, there were a lot of enemies. So now we got these invisible guys. Again, I hit harder than I used to, so it's not quite as painful. And then big old Captain. So we got Graylix, is that his name? Yeah, Graylix. And just the fact that he's down there, got these guys, cooking it up. May as well have a little fun and finish this thing off in style. And I got one more straggler.
Let's get back to the archive.
So, normally it didn't go that quickly, and of course I missed my power supers, but see how long things take to get going in Destiny 2. But yeah, still a fun mission, very cool. I liked how you just kind of came down into this archive area. You kind of wondering what is down here, the whole Vex, the mining. Just a lot of intrigue in the world of the lore. I always thought this one was cool. And a giant archive. I wish we knew it was in here, so. That is the archive, the Venus mission that of my choice. It was between that one and the Scourge of Winter. Both are cool, just for different reasons. So, gonna finish this one up, and we'll wrap it up to Mars. So,
Pathways
Venus,
to other galaxies,
done.
Mappings of a Vex underworld, a place they called the Vault of Glass.
Alright guys, we finally come to Mars, where we're going to have mission number 4. Now, Mars is obviously where we faced the Cabal the first time. Pretty much the only place we really do. Cabal getting a huge focus in Destiny 2, obviously, but we really don't have a major Cabal fight in Destiny 1. Nothing major there. Apparently they're saving it for number 2, and they did it well, it looks like. But my mission for Destiny 2 that I really enjoyed is the Garden Spire. This is really the first time you fight kind of a major boss fight-ish situation for Cabal. So it's wrapping you up to get ready to go actually into the Black Garden, which is going to be my mission number 5 for Vanilla Destiny, but I'll get to that in a minute. Teasers, but spoilers. But starting with the Garden Spire, always a fun mission for the Cabal. Very cool. I like the way it wrapped up. So let's jump in to the Garden Spire for mission number 4. My mission choice for Mars. Here we go. Just want to throw this in here real quick. I know some of you guys, as you were looking for relic iron, especially as you're hunting for your swords and stuff, these little bundles right here of relic shards, they blend in rather well. I wish they were like neon green, but many of us have collected many relic shards, so I had to do it one more time. Alright. Now I'm going to cut ahead to where the fun part begins. Well, alright guys, so as we remember, we have the big giant doors. Then you think you're like, okay, I cleared out the enemies I'll get to go through. Nope, we got more, and it just keeps getting worse. Now I can kill these guys pretty quick, but it was kind of an overrun. They put you in the middle of an ambush situation. Never a fun part in here, so this one always kind of got to be really icy. The next phase coming straight up the pipe here. Where'd you go? Now, not knowing, but of course you got a nice little flashing light over here coming next this way. Now this is where Colossus comes out for the first time and just really wants to mess you up. And trust me, at a lower level, those rockets were painful as all get out. Again, OP helps. One more time, you're like, okay, I think I'm done.
You know what happens when I open doors.
Alright, Guardians, so we're on the final part of this mission, and this is kind of where it gets interesting. For one, you see all these flags with this, like, Cabal face hanging down. Coming around here, and we're told we have to cross this bridge. But if you take a gander and look, I mean, we're going to interact with an area that's closer. We've got the Spire thing. That massive ship in the background is pretty substantial. Like, it's one of those things that is literally just a background object, but we don't even realize it because half the time I'm focused here. I'm like, okay, I want to get to the next part of the mission. Take everything in, especially in Destiny 2. Those world artists are amazing. The skyboxers are so cool. Take in the whole world. Look at every detail. Don't blow through it. Enjoy the campaign. That's my advice. But as you run through here, we got to cross this bridge. I tried to jump up here first time, and you're like, all right, I'm good, I'm good. Literally, as soon as you, like, step in the wrong area, come up this ramp,
There's the Spire.
right here, the guys just come flying right at you. And you did not have thermite grenades to kick this thing off, so. Again, Phalanx waiting for you here. Got these guys squirt in front. We have a Colossus or a Centurion in the back. So many things going on here. Top 5 guns, I can tell you right now, this one's going to be on somewhere near that top of the list. My sniper rifle as well. Like, a couple of my guns that I use so many times, it's going to be hard. I might do legendary weapons and exotics separate, but definitely going to be giving you guys a rundown of some of my favorites, because you got to. Too many guns were awesome in this game. And then the geometry ruins your day. I do miss the thermite grenade, and the fact that that's not coming, I guess, I don't know if it's coming back, because we don't know if there's going to be a Solar Titan or not.
You handle the Cabal. I'll wait the eye.
Looks like, and then here, we're just going to go ahead and clear this thing out right now. Just sit there and try for a minute. Oh, come on. One bullet away. Scions were always fun that way, weren't they? I guess so here. Again, the view of the ship, which you can't even see
To the Spire.
remotely all of it. It goes over there forever. But here we're looking at the Spire, which is definitely a Vex structure, trying to understand what the Cabal is doing. We're basically on the other side of their full base. So now we're going to wake the eye. This is where it gets interesting, but also a nice little glimpse into the raid. I wish they had connected the story to the raid. That would have been cooler. But as they didn't, we kind of got to make it up as we go.
What's about to happen.
And here's where things really do get interesting. Small piece of world geometry changing. And that's just one of those things I wish they would explain more so we knew what was going on. I'll take that. Tiny little shard of joy up there. I need it. I want it. And it's gone. And this is where it gets dicey. You're like, okay, I don't know what's coming. Beast dude comes out. Primus Shaul. Like, he is a monster. So, then you got him. Takes a while to kill. You got these waves of enemies that come out. So I'd always try and come over here and be like, okay, I can handle this. Got a couple enemies. And manage a couple of them. Throw an occasional grenade at him and then keep trying to pick off the enemies. They come charging at you. Staying by him here, watching his rockets, trying to get a few shots off. But again, I can kill him fairly quickly, so this does tend to get a little easier. But you got the ship coming in, so you have to be working on the next wave of enemies. He's still firing rockets at you, just wrecking your face. Trying not to kill him too quickly, just so you can see the quantity of enemies that come in. Like, I was trying even things, now the Centurion shows up, they're even harder to kill because their shield. Still working on these guys. I'd even rotate around sometimes and be underneath the map. I'm like, where can I be safe? I tried up top, in the back, and sometimes I gotta run. I'm over here, and he can't really come down here. But then you're like, oh crap, yeah, he can. How far is he gonna come into the tunnel? So then you gotta come over here, keep fighting, frantic. All this stuff's always kind of insane. Yeah, in general, over here, finally when we finish him up, you're trying to dodge, trying to stay alive, just trying to move around as you're trying to kill all the enemies so you can get through doing what you need to do. Also, so you just feel like you can get a shot on him, because before, it was really hard to take this guy out. We're going to pull out our sword and finish him off in style. Only bad thing about Cabal, they always smash. But I smash first. I'm going to go, so the Legions keep. We're good. We're going to come up here and finish this thing up. Apparently that's like a... I don't know if that's like the Eye of a Gaylord, but apparently it looks like one. Looks like one to me. There we go. Yep, so that is the Garden Spire. What's up, Fogger? How's it going, man?
It's time to enter the Black Garden and finish this.
Yep. So this is the pre-ultimate mission, basically the one right before things wrap up. But this is one of the ones I really enjoyed because it's your first and kind of your mainly only Cabal kind of boss fight. So while we didn't see that much of the Cabal, this is one of the bigger ones. A cool boss fight, especially at the level when you go into the fight. So really enjoyed this mission, and let's wrap up with number 5 for vanilla, and I'll take you into it with a little explanation. So here we go. Alright guys, so top missions for Destiny. I was going to do 4, but I really have to include this last mission because there's no way to talk about the story of vanilla Destiny without it. It's really not. You have to do it. So, what am I talking about? Of course, without a question, the Black Garden. Now, the Black Garden is a really cool mission. The boss fight's kind of cool. It escalates. The music's really awesome. The scale, the skyboxes, all awesome. But then when you get to the end of the story, you're left with this giant goose egg, kind of lump of coal at the end, going, okay, so what does everything mean? We don't really know. So while the Black Garden is a fun mission, cool, one of the longer ones for sure, the amount of enemies you fight, you've got a little bit of Cabal, mostly Vex, all the stuff you fight on through. But let's jump in. I'll kind of explain the parts that I like and don't like, and of course you will see the little story clip at the end. But let's go mission number 5 for Vanilla Destiny. Here we go. Last one for this video, and I will get to the expansions in the next video, so here we go. Alright Guardians, so we are here at the Valley of Kings. We've seen this thing before. Kind of the slight outer glow, whatever's going on behind it. We've seen these enemies. You can sit there and fight them, but nothing really happens too much until you're actually on the mission. So we'll come down here, fight these guys, and then kick it off into what is or isn't whatever remains. Pick these guys off from a little ways away. Take out Mr. Hobgoblin there. This was always the way I would fight. I mean, that's what I was like. That's why I'm kind of wondering about the power weapons in Destiny 2. In general, it's just one of those things that you're like, okay, I want a sniper. But what if I want something else? Like the sniper is probably going to be my power weapon a lot. Because I do like my range and I like the power of the range. Maybe they're going to change it up to where scouts do more. Who knows? So you'll have killed every enemy. Then that happens. So if you've ever seen Stargate, kind of what it looks like. Basically the general idea. Enter the gate. Cool effects as you creep closer. I see is like, I did this so quick last time, I've never even noticed the effects here around the edge. Like this glowing, not quite taken, but like void energy around the entire outside.
I hope this works.
And literally the closer you get, I was pretty much right there at the edge. Things really kind of start freaking out. You're like, am I going to die? I'm not entirely sure. And then you phase in.
Where are we?
Exactly.
If this is the Black Garden, it's not on any map of known space and time. I guess we just keep going?
Pretty much. So yeah, you are literally like in a giant question mark. And you see Vex, you're like, crap, wait, they're not moving.
They're in
So
some
you get up
kind of
here
stasis.
and inspect Vex. I mean, cool models for sure. Pretty detailed. So as you run through, just kind of going through the Black Garden. And if you know the map Pantheon, this is definitely where this came from. I always like Pantheon's look. It's cool because you have the square structures that definitely signify Vex. I mean, they're energy, they're mathematical, they're definitely going to be, you know, very technical about what they build. All the squares, I'm not sure why, but they're there. It's not going to be a whole bunch of triangles or circles and bubbly. It's going to be, you know, mathematical and time geniuses. It's going to be technical. Now, as you creep closer, you're like, okay, something's going to happen, maybe something. You see these enemies, and then they wake up. And when they wake up, it's kind of a nice little jarring effect, but you're also going to have a couple enemies in the back trying to get you. And then you now know you pretty much can't trust anything, so you got to be ready to go pretty much at a moment's notice. Minotaurs, always a pain in the butt. Like, unless you're just over-leveled, they tend to wreck you. If you're on a Nightfall, they wreck you. Like, Minotaurs hurt. Just out of nowhere, oh, three Minotaurs. Well, that doesn't seem fair, does it? Yeah, I'm still just going to try and throw him down real quick. I've got some Harpies out here. It's like explosive rounds. It's like, I wonder what the guns are going to be that we're going to go for, too. Because honestly, it's like the guns that we can get now, you can get so many different perks on them. So if you can't get all the different perks, I really wonder how many guns they're going to have in the game. Because you want options, you want variety, you want that chase for something good. I guess we'll just see how it goes. Me, as always, a scout rifle and a sniper rifle, picking everything off from far away. And so you get blindsided over here by a random man and a sniper on my side, a couple goblins, a hobgoblin to my right, trying to pick me off over here. Like, literally, it's just all this stuff that charges you at once. And the Vex, never a nice group to fight. Always pretty much quickly able to mess you up because you'll be focused on the goblins and maybe a Minotaur, you know, 100 yards away or however far, there's going to be a hobgoblin just sniping the crap out of you. So, but again, a cool look, subtle sounds. Now in the respawn restricted zone, so it's even more escalated. And this is literally the point in the game where I was like, okay, this mission's awesome, the campaign's cool, like going through. But you're still pretty vague on the story, and that was one of the things with Destiny 1. With as much as we've all read and heard, they were like rewrites and the things they had to work through. We all know it was a struggle, and honestly, with what they had, if they had to go from scratch in about a year, honestly, hats off to make everything you did. But this right here, like the first time you're looking at this scene, you see the scale of what's around you. This like giant, I don't even know what you'd call it. I mean, that's pretty substantial, like mountain and rock under here, and we're in a cave, but then out here, this entire field of what looks like it's almost from the Matrix, basically. You've got a huge plateau in the background, which I have no idea what's for. You've got this entire, like, tunnel structure, which is actually where we're heading when you look later. That tunnel right there, I'll show you guys where that one's at later on in the mission. But all these things, you're just like, are we going to go adventure out there? Kind of jump out there? No, you can't, because you'll die. But yeah, we'll keep working our way around. And then here, of course, if you're aware to look ahead, you can pick guys off before they ever even wake up. Always something I really enjoyed doing. Sometimes they're just like, they're in time stasis. They have no reason to even think you're going to be in the Black Garden. So, unless they just set off a whole bunch of alarms somewhere, you should be relatively okay. I'm on point right now with my shots. But the fun part, of course, since I've got the super, I may as well use it now. And you don't have a giant fire hammer super when the Cyclops is up here. Yeah, that dude is rough. Yeah, that goes a little quicker, but normally you'd be hiding in the back. I'd be running from a Cyclops like crazy. You know, getting your sniper damage in when you could. When you're shooting around, definitely hiding. Basically always looking around every corner to see what's going to mess you up next. And it's usually something.
The Vex here are powering.
And then here's another Hydra coming in.
Take them out.
This is actually another guy you had to go kill too for either a quest or a bounty or something like that. But the divisive mind, he was always one to definitely go for. And just still looking around. Find the garden's heart. So you're like, the garden has a heart? What is happening right now? And this is why I do hope there's more voiceover. There's more cinematics. There's actual cinematics for the raid. things that we all look for. It's like I'm going to go exploring for basically every ghost I can, every nook and cranny of all the worlds. I mean, people are going to do it ahead of me, but I still want to go look. But as you go through, you're like, okay, I can go there. I know some of us, for sure, because this is where the strike goes, went over here like, what are we doing? And we finally look on the map, and the arrow's over here. Well, we'll come down here and head towards the final section of this room. And then we have the boss fight, which is fun. And the first time I did it, also terrifying, because I thought I was going to die so many times. Creeping on forward. Then you see the actual ramp that goes down below. We have a couple hobgoblins staring you in the face. See if I can actually get my aim as good on PC as I am on console. Aim assist does wonders, right? Yeah, you guys know all the reverse of this. You basically come up these stairs for the Undying Line. Harpies. Never too bad until they get basically surrounded and they're all ticked off at you at the same time. You get about 8 of those guys shooting at you at the same time on a certain mission. Yeah, it's dicey. Finally creeping on down. As we get closer and closer, this mission, just like the way it's built, this is one mission. Like, this is definitely one of the longer missions because it's a whole area that you only see one time. So again, these structures where Bungie's gone through and made the full environment, all these things. I always remember this part. These two guys, I could never get them both at the same time. I always come over here trying to take care of them. But then if you do and you're replaying this mission, then you know you got like 6 or 7 guys over here. Can't ever quite get them all. Apparently they're all scared. Hobgoblins are always scary. Joys of being OP though. And then this little area right here. Like, okay, not good.
Just beyond here.
Gotta pick everything off.
Just one big machine. Get me close to the clusters.
See how much you can pick off from a distance. And I advise that for pretty much everything in Destiny 2. Be safe over sorry. You never know where hobgoblins and snipers and everything else are going to be. If there was like a streak for precision kills, I'd be on a pretty good roll right now. Until I get sniped by a hobgoblin. Still doing their thing. Quite a shooting. I'm just at the shooting range over here. I'm going to go ahead and take care of my business. As soon as you get closer, of course, there's always a hobgoblin. And you're like, oh, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. I'm not good, I'm not good. Usually how that went down for me. I think I'm okay, and then, of course, 5 harpies show up, there's a minotaur on my back, and I'm just really not happy about it. So one cluster, come over here, deploy your ghosts, you can clear this one up. And one more side. Try to clear up most of these guys, so it shouldn't be quite as bad. But again, you're never quite alone when you get close over here.
It's working.
Minotaur is still there.
A spire is forming.
Waiting for you. Is it? Oh, yeah, indeed it is. It's partway done. Oh, there's a hider out in the middle. I did not even notice. I don't even know if I ever looked back in normal missions to see if it was back there. So that spire is forming, but it's only partial, so I gotta get the other cluster. And we're gonna wrap this thing up to boss mode. Now you guys know the bosses are not easy, but I'm gonna go see how much my sword can do. It's gonna be fun. Sword and supers. See how fast I can finish this boss fight. Nice thing about Destiny, you may not be able to go everywhere, but if you can see something, the geometry's there, you can probably jump on it. That's where a lot of exploration is gonna happen. So that spire has indeed formed. Now, formed is one thing. The other way to think about it is the fact that it's been like warped in from time. When it comes to the lore of the Vex, which I really cannot wait to see what they do for expansions or anything like that for Destiny 2. But it's like, I want to know more about the Vex. They are crazy, crazy creatures, but also so powerful because what they can do at time is kind of awesome. So that's why it's like the more you figure about them, the more you want to know, and then you just kind of get left waiting. So, and we don't get much story out of the Vault of Glass either. They're there. There's some enemies we fight, but we get no story, no ghost talking, no nothing. So. Again, I hope there's a lot more story incorporation to the raid. If it's part of the story, it's the way you see the final like video. Absolutely, that's kind of why I want that one to happen that way. And this is where things get crazy. So that's like the Gate Lord's eye, basically. in this little structure that breaks apart, which is kind of crazy. Lights coming in. Splits. I have no idea how this technology works, but it's pretty cool.
Well, here goes nothing.
Pretty much. That's how you feel.
Or everything.
One of the only baby in-game cinematics. But this is the point where you pause and you're like, okay, remember that like whole tunnel basically I was talking about? That half tunnel from above? It's what sits behind the Black Garden, but so is that giant plateau. We'll never get to the plateau, but this, you're like, okay, what am I going to fight? Like the evilest blob in the world? Pretty much. Walk on in and you kind of get your mini cinematic.
So, think you can kill a god?
Don't think I have a choice.
One of the few things your character actually says, too. Now, of course, when you start the mission, you're like, oh, I can pick them off, until you realize they can start teleporting up here to you. And then you don't know if it's good or bad to stay up here or not. Now I can pick them off a little quicker before it would take a couple of shots. Feel like can actually do this. Normally you couldn't survive it up here. So pretty much what you have to do at that point, you're like, I need some cover. Run on down here, trying to stay below. Pick off the enemies you can from some type of distance. We're going to work them down. But when the bigger enemies come out, we're going to have some fun with some swords and see what we can do to these guys so we can wrap this one up. But the mission is cool, but it's just the lack of story, the lack of wrap-up. The raid is not really linked. You know Vex are involved, but you don't have really a whole big clue of what's going on. So then you come up here and you're like, okay, what's happening? That's kind of terrifying. And then you realize it's about to get crazy. But as I've killed a couple of gods in my day as Destiny 1, and I'm holding a giant flaming sword that's pretty beastly, let's see how we do against the good old Black Garden in the Heart. Kill the Soul Prodigy. Soul sounds like a singular one unless it's fire, but either way, you feel like there wouldn't be three. How am I not even hurting him? That's really weird. He's got a little more health than I thought. Let's see how much damage I can do. Statue's coming to life, shrinking down. He's about to step off. And Crazy Town commences. But apparently he also smashes the crap out of you, so I can't really sword him. But I can hammer away for some big chunks of damage. And he's just going to sit here and cook. I love it when you're that powerful. Stage 1, done. Now, do I have anything else for a power weapon?
Keep fighting them.
Yeah, let's go with some Dragon's Breath. Just for fun. Round 2. Use some ammo, though. And here's one of my favorite music songs of all time in Destiny 2. Just this one was always so cool. You know, do I get close so I can hit him with it? Do I stay far away? Turn him around. Throw some grenades and then just keep firing. He's burning. Let's see if we can stagger him with some sniper shots. Triple tap. Almost going down. Man, I am going to miss my Honeyberry. Such a great gun. I'd love some ammo, though. There we go. The ammo's good. Get a couple rockets going. The quicker you kill those guys, the better. But honestly, you could not kill those guys that fast. So then all the enemies would spawn. And this one, you guys can see, we get up to Minotaurs in this last one. That's where you're like, oh, crap. And believe me, I was pretty terrified when I was going through this the first time. I do look like I have a little World War II fighter plane on my shoulder. Alright, part 3. What's up, man? I need you to stand still. There's one. Now, here's the time where you actually do kind of need to hide. Use the grenades, try and take out all the ads first. And the focus was trying to stay alive, taking out the ads, not getting overrun. The Minotaur up too close. There's no way you can kill them that fast normally. So, yeah, if you listen to that music though, guys, like, man, the music actually did so good on these. Just like the heroism in this one, the amount of like intensity in the music. As you do more damage, the escalation in the tones, so many good things here. Throwing hammers away. I don't even know if you had your super completely built up by this point in time in the story. Finish him up here though. And that is a wrap. I don't know how many of you guys ever did this.
We're back on Mars. The shroud of darkness is lifting, and light returns to the traveler. The speaker is calling us home.
So I don't know how far over here I can go. Very weird geometry right now. Oh. Well, that's cute. But yeah, that is the Black Garden, guys. A very cool mission, very cool ending, good music. But then in the end, you're left like, what's going to happen? So let's see how the final ending of Vanilla Destiny goes, and then we can kind of reflect on the good and the bad. Wrap up the mission and moving on.
For centuries we feared the forces of darkness massing against us. We sought to hide and cower beneath a broken god. No more. These guardians show us what we are, what we have always been, and what we will be again. We are what remains of the light, and we will not be stamped out.
It's a day for pretty speeches and medals. But we know the real fight takes place out there. Take this. There's so much more, Guardian. I've seen terrible things born out in the darkness. Every moment brings them closer. All ends are beginnings. Our fight is far from over.
And that's how you are left in Destiny 1's campaign. Right there. Warns the beginnings, a speech that fades off, you get in your ship, and that's it. So what did I do? What is the darkness? What is the light? Who is the traveler? What is the speaker? You're left with more questions than when you started the game. So, kind of one of those ups and downs. Cool mission, enjoyed it, but then when you're left with all those questions at the end, the raid is cool. I mean, honestly, Vault of Glass is still one of my favorites by far. But in general, then when you come back, you're like, okay, so now what do I do? So, that is vanilla Destiny, top 5 missions, 1 on each, and then of course the big X factor of the Black Garden. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, you guys can follow me on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Ebontis. Try and do a lot of my stuff live. Definitely will for Destiny 2. On Twitter, you guys can see when I go live on there. Follow me with updates, news, things like that. So it's twitter.com/Ebontis. And then, of course, on YouTube, where most of my videos are at and most of my content. YouTube.com. Always, you can look up Ebontis or youtube.com/Ebontis. Find my channel. Subscribe there if you want. And you can follow me, and all the support will be there. So thank you guys for everything. It's been awesome for Destiny 1. Destiny 2 is around the corner. I'm going to do a couple other wrap-up videos over the weekend for my top things for Destiny 1. So this is the first one. The other stories will continue. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Have a great one. I will see you soon.